Hey, it's Emily and I'm live from my bathroom. Hey, I just wanted to make this quick video for you to teach you some techniques that you're gonna need to know about makeup. Maybe you're a brand new consultant and you're like, oh my gosh, I have no idea how to do anything makeup. That is totally okay. When I started Mary Kay, I wore silver eyeliner just on the bottom and clear mascara. It was the wet look and it was in at my awesome high school I went to. And I used to think that some of the latest shades of eyeshadow that we had were so dramatic. So you can come a long way. So I'm going to teach you lots of things. So right now I have a bare face. So I'm going to go through and teach you some of these things. Maybe you're a seasoned consultant and you just kind of want to up your game at your parties and appointments. Or maybe you're a customer and you just want to learn some new techniques. This video is going to give you a ton of product knowledge. But here's the one thing that I want you to know right off the bat that I think is so awesome about Mary Kay products. They are actually designed to work better as you use more. Now, sometimes we get this fear that, oh my gosh, if I put all this stuff on my face, I'm gonna look so cakey and it's gonna look bad. It's not that way with Mary Kay. All of our products are designed to work together, so they actually work better. So a lot of our products have priming properties and different things to control oil and shine throughout the day. So this is my technique to look really flawless all day long, even if it's 90 degrees outside. Even if you're running around doing a million things. Now, is this the way that I do my makeup every single day? No. I am a real person. I have kids, I have 2 little kids, I have a lot going on. I mean, there's a lot of days where I drop my son off at school and I'm not wearing any makeup. But when I go and I do a party or an appointment and I'm teaching other women about either skincare or makeup or both, you better believe that this is what I do. And I learned this from a makeup artist that it's really important in terms of like credibility and just looking like you know what you're doing is to look like you know what you're doing. So I do this when I am going to an appointment, meaning I'm meeting someone to teach them skincare or makeup. And it's kind of like if you went to a dentist who had really bad teeth, you'd be like, I don't know if I want you working on my teeth. So this kind of is going to give you a lot of techniques. So let's get started. Okay, so step 1 is to get the canvas ready. So I've already done my skincare. I did my cleanser, my day solution, which has SPF, my moisturizer, and I also exfoliated today using our new facial peel. Oh my gosh, I gotta show you guys this thing. Hold on. I thought I was ready and then I wasn't ready. This is my everything right now. It is the Time Wise Repair Revealing Radiance Facial Peel. It takes off that whole top layer of skin and just reveals the next layer, so it makes it look really great. And I am really passionate about skincare. I always tell people that if you don't have great skin in the first place, it doesn't give you a very good canvas to paint on. And if you look at my skin, you'll notice I have some acne scarring up here right now. I have a sunspot here. I do have some freckles. Those I've had forever and ever. And just some different imperfections on my face. And I'm not saying that out of insecurity. I'm just saying that most women have something on their face. I'm going to show you how to kind of cover that and get that flawless look that we all want. So step number 1 is to prime. So I've already applied some eye primer, which you put on your eyelid all the way up to underneath your eyebrow. So I've already gone ahead and done that. What I'm going to put on first is I'm going to move this thing over here, our face primer. And this is step 1 to having all day makeup. It's kind of one of those products when we came out with it, I was like, oh, another product. And then I'm like, I don't know, 6 months later, how do I ever live without this ever again? So the primer fills in imperfections on your face so that instead of the foundation sinking in and accentuating them, it actually just makes you look more flawless. It's a magnet for your foundation. So it sticks the foundation to your face. It's actually formulated to diffuse light, so it helps reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. And it absorbs excess oil and has SPF 15. Now, you don't need very much. Sometimes less is more with our products. I would say like this much, which is maybe like a pearl size. And you can apply this with a foundation brush, but I'm just gonna use my fingers because again, this is everyday women kind of makeup. This is not trend makeup. There's lots of YouTube videos out there that can show you trend makeup. I want to teach you something that real women do every single day that's going to look just really good and really flawless. Okay, so we have our foundation primer on. The first step is CC cream. Now, it does not matter what foundation you wear. If you wear liquid, if you wear mineral powder, I learned this from a makeup artist, but if you put a layer of our CC cream on your face first, CC cream has it is like a miracle product that has a million priming properties too. So this is gonna help. So I actually wear this underneath my foundation. I realize that you can wear it as foundation on your lighter days, but because we're going for more advanced, more flawless, we're gonna use this underneath. And this guy protects, it has SPF 15, it brightens your complexion, so who doesn't want that? It corrects, it actually has mineral-based pigments in it that help correct stuff on your face. It minimizes redness, hydrates for 10 hours, reduces the signs of aging, also improves your texture, and it also has antioxidants that help neutralize free radical damage on your face. So hello, why wouldn't we want that under our foundation? So what I do to apply all of these things, first off, let's get clear. No makeup artist on the face of the earth uses sponge tip applicators to apply their makeup. So you need to open our Mary Kay brush set, and I mean open all of the brushes. So you open the set, but then also open a concealer brush, a foundation brush, and there's a smudger brush too, which is now sitting on my counter, and it comes in this beautiful case. So do not pass go until you open yourself one of these. So I'm gonna use our liquid foundation brush, and this guy is tapered just perfectly, so you can get kind of that airbrush look. Now, anytime you're applying foundation or CC cream or whatever it is, you always wanna start in the middle of your face and kind of work out, because you want the majority of the product to be here, not in your hairline. So, and anytime you do like a CC cream or a foundation, you can rub down in your face because we all have little hairs. And so if we rub up, then they're having a party every which direction on our faces. So what I do is I just take a little bit of CC cream. Hold on, this is a new one. Okay, so I squirt it on the back of my hand, and then I take my foundation brush and just kind of dab a little bit in there. And then I'm gonna start, try to do this quickly. Now, you don't need a lot of this. The purpose of this CC cream isn't to cover, because I'm gonna be doing other foundation over it. I just wanna get the benefits of the CC cream, that, you know, skin brightening, redness minimizing, and this stuff hydrates for up to 10 hours. And I happen to have drier skin. Now, even if you have more oily skin, a lot of my oily skinned girlfriends use this too and do this underneath their makeup too. So just like this. Of course, my hair's in the way today. So that is the CC cream. So it's just a super light layer all over your face. Then what you're gonna use, everybody's different, but I love our liquid foundation. It is awesome. It covers a lot, but it feels light, and it comes in matte wear or luminous wear. Matte wear has special microspheres that control oil and shine on your face. It makes you appear like less fine lines and wrinkles, firms your skin. It's also transfer and humidity resistant. Hello, no melting. I actually like to wear the luminous wear because I have drier skin, and I just think it makes you look younger, because anytime you're a little bit luminous, you're a little bit younger, even though I'm gonna do powder over top. Now, the only difference between the luminous is that it has all the same properties of the matte wear, but the luminous has jojoba in it, which is like a hydrator, so it hydrates, and you just feel comfortable wearing it all day. It's just comfortable on your face. So again, I'm gonna take the cap off, and I'm gonna put a blob on my hand like so. You don't have to put it on your hand. This is just how I do it. You could just go, some people just go like this and put it right on the end. I just like to make a mess on my hand. Again, I'm gonna start on, I always like to start on my nose and kind of work out. Now, one thing that people tend to neglect is their eyelids. My recommendation, and I learned this from a makeup artist too, it is okay to do your eyelids. The only time it isn't is if you have some sort of sensitivity to, say, like SPF or something. You might want to skip the CC cream on your eyelids. Otherwise, girl, you go for it, because it's going to make that awesome base. It always is good too to kind of pin your hair back. So we're going up and out, a light layer of this. Now, the neat thing about this matte or luminous wear is it's buildable. So if you were having a day where you're like, oh my gosh, I need some coverage today, you can actually do a coat like I'm doing now, let it dry, and put on more. So, voila, we have Luminous Wear Foundation on. Now, one tip I want to share with you, and this is like one of those kind of advanced tips that's really easy. Our mineral foundation brush doubles as like a skin buffer. So what I like to do when I have my CC cream and I have my foundation primer and my liquid, I like to use this to kind of buff the product into my pores. Now, for those of you who have watched different YouTube videos, one thing they don't tell you when they're making those videos is the texture sometimes that, you know, when they're, like I've seen the one where they draw a Sharpie on their face and then they use makeup and cover it and it looks like so amazing. But sometimes what you don't see is the texture on their face. But when you're live in person with them, you're like, whoa, girlfriend, it is cakey. So buffing the makeup into your skin really helps kind of prevent that cakiness. So all you do, and you can even like hold the bristles on the end or just whatever, but you're just really gonna kind of go around. There's no product on this brush. And you are just gonna, I got a brush here on my face, there we go. You're just gonna like work the foundation into your skin. Now, if you have oilier skin, or it's 95 degrees out and you are getting married, watch this. You are going to want to take these guys. These are called beauty blotters. These are lifesavers. What a beauty blotter is, it's a little tissue, looks like this, and it takes the oil or any excess like moisture that's not necessary, it's just like sitting on top of your skin. It takes it off your face without removing your makeup. So if you have oilier skin, just kind of taking a little paper here and blotting off anything that might be sitting on your skin from, you know, the time you took a shower, moisturized, did everything until now. So got a little bit off there. Now the other thing that you can do is, so this is our makeup setting spray. Normally you would put this on at the end of your makeup, but if you have oilier skin or you just want your makeup to look awesome, like for a very, very long time, you can take and do a layer of makeup setting spray at this point. So do a little layer of this, or you could actually do it, actually I think when the makeup artist does it is after primer. So even before you put the CC cream on, you could do a layer of setting spray, do all your makeup, and then another layer of setting spray. And you can use this on your body too, anywhere you don't want to like look really shiny, or if it's really hot outside, this stuff is magical. So we're going to talk more about that later. So I have my foundation, my CC cream, everything's kind of buffed into my skin. Now is the point when we're going to conceal. Now there are a million schools of thought on this. Some people conceal before all of this, some after. I don't really think it matters. I've had different makeup artists who disagree and others that agree. So we're going to agree to disagree, and I'm going to put it on now because that's when I do it. So step one is the under eye corrector. An under eye corrector is peach, and it only comes in one shade because peach actually neutralizes blue. So this, instead of just covering an under eye circle, it's going to neutralize the tone of it. So it's just going to kind of make it disappear. Now mine aren't terrible, but I still like to put a little bit. So what I do is I dot it on like that. And then if your significant other comes in, they get terrified of you. And then I like to take my concealer brush from Mary Kay, love this thing, and just kind of dab it in a little bit. Just kind of pat the skin. You can use your finger too, if that, just to kind of blend it, but you really don't need very much of this. Now, you can get away with just doing this, and you could blend it with some powder, but you can also take concealer. And Mary Kay's concealer, this stuff is magical because it can cover anything. So I like to take a little bit of concealer. So now you're starting to see I already look less red, things are less noticeable. So I'm going to take some concealer, I'm going to put it there. I also have some I have broken capillaries under my nose, I'm going to put a little there. I have some acne scarring up there. And I have this little sunspot here. Got something there. I don't know what's going on over here. Okay. The other tip that I like to do, so this looks really scary now I'm looking at it, is if you really want your eye makeup to stay, okay? So if you ever have that problem, first of all, your eyeshadow creases right here, it means you have oily eyelids. So you need to use our eye primer, which has an anticoagulant that prevents that creasing. So I've already got that on my lid. But the other tip is, is dotting concealer. So we're gonna put a little bit of concealer. This is not scientific. Once again, I'm gonna take my concealer brush and start working in the magic. You can kind of pat with this guy. Makeup artists call this stippling. I call it dabbing. Whatever you gotta do, right? So you're just kind of like working that in. I like to cover that guy a little bit so it's not so bright. And then just getting your entire eyelid, like you're gonna give this guy an amazing, amazing base. Because my eyelids, I don't know if you guys have this problem, but my eyelids are really like black and blue almost sometimes, or they just have such a different tone than the rest of my skin. So it just kind of like brightens me up a little bit. And it's gonna give my eyeshadows the best chance of lasting if it's 90 million degrees outside. So we're gonna do this to both sides. And hopefully, if you're a consultant out there, you can pull these products because you have a 50% discount. So that's pretty awesome. So you can definitely rewatch this and kind of follow along as I'm doing it too. So we're gonna pat that guy in. I just kind of work these in a little bit. I got some like, I don't know what they call that, but when you have a baby or something and stuff gets dark, pregnancy melasma. Ooh, there's a free one for you. So yeah, so dot that guy in. I'm gonna dot these in. Just kind of dab them in. Sometimes if I'm going quickly like I am today, I'll just use my finger instead of the brush. See, this does not have to be scientific. Okay, so we've concealed. That guy is a little bit darker than I want it to be. Then the last step is I like to take a little bit of our mineral powder foundation and go over top. Now, just a tip, if you don't need more coverage, use the powder brush. The powder brush is gonna disperse the mineral powder foundation so that it's not gonna cover necessarily. It's just gonna give you like a light base. This guy is meant to cover it, you know, to make it more like coverage. So depending on what you want, you can do either one. Now, if you don't like using mineral powder, you could do our translucent powder. You could do sheer mineral press powder. Do you have to do powder? No, but I just find that it makes it stay. So why wouldn't you? So just kind of putting the powder on the brush. I go all over the face. I get to make a big mess in my bathroom, which is always fun. Again, doing eyelids, like always closing your eyes, putting stuff over your lids too. I like my powder, can you tell? Okay, so we have powder. The canvas is ready. Do you see how it's transforming? Now sometimes I am having, got a little bit on my coat, which is totally fine. I'm having a little bit of a time with this guy up here. It's kind of a new little spot I have, so I am gonna go back and just make, there we go, that's much better. Okay, canvas is ready. Now we're gonna do eyes and work down. You should always start with your eyes and work down. You never wanna do cheeks and lips first because you're gonna have way too much cheeks and way too much lips. So we're gonna start with your eyes first. I actually like to start with eyebrows, and there's different ways you can do eyebrows. You can use an eyebrow pencil, which I love, or you can take our, this brush out of our brush set, and you can take some of our eyeshadow and kind of fill in your brows this way. The eyeshadows that you would use for that would be hazelnut, driftwood, or espresso. If you're kind of more blonde to light brunette, you do hazelnut. If you're a darker brunette, you would do the driftwood, and then if you have like black eyebrows, you do the espresso. I personally like our eyebrow pencil, and one other tip is, see, I'm dropping stuff. Making sure that the end is really sharp. So I actually have this sharpener from Mary Kay. So I'm gonna sharpen my eyebrow pencil so it's extra ready. And what you're gonna do is, I have pretty, I don't know, my eyebrows are not super thick, but do you see how I'm doing like light wispy strokes instead of like, you know, sometimes we get scared of eyebrow pencil because we see people who get a little bit heavy in terms of drawing it on. Now, if you just want a quick tip of where your eyebrows should be, I'm in no way, shape, or form saying that mine are perfect, but if you took a pencil and lined this, so the tip of your nose to the front of your eyebrow, that's where your eyebrow should start. If you go over your pupil, that's where your arch should be. And then if you go draw a line from here down and out, that's where your eyebrow should end. Like I said, not saying mine are that way. Okay, so if you look at the before and after, look at what a difference it makes. I really love eyebrows because I think they're the picture frame to your face. So if you don't think eyebrows matter, try it once. People are gonna notice. You're gonna look more awake. You're just gonna look good. So before, after. There you go. Okay, so we're gonna do the other one quick. So again, light wispy strokes. Now one tip, if you want your eyebrows to look more natural, like say you kind of draw them in, like I might have gotten a little heavy on this one over here. What you can do is go back to, I love our Mary Kay brushes, I can't even tell you. Of course, where did it go? Oh, here it is, okay. This guy here. And you take this side and you're gonna comb out your eyebrows. Just kind of brush them out like this. And you always wanna kind of go up. You want to brush them up because it's going to make them look more full. So kind of brush all that out. It gets any extra. Sometimes you get like powder and different junk in your eyebrows too. So there we go. See, they're brushed, ready to go. So what I like to do for eyes is I like to take our cream eyeshadow and just make a base on my lid. This also doubles as eye primer, so you don't have to use both this and eye primer. Typically I just use this. Now the mistake people make with this is they do their lid all the way up to underneath your eyebrow. You actually only want to put the cream, like if you're putting powders over top of it, you only want to do the cream on your lid because you don't want that extra texture and stuff to be up here. So I'm going to take my cream and I'm just going to put it on my lid, and you don't need a lot. And this one is Beach Blonde. I do like Apricot Twist is a great one too. Or the Pale Blush, which is the pink one. Pale Blush is a little more neutral, so you won't see it as much if that's kind of more what you're going for. Sometimes I get a little crazy with this thing. Okay, so there we go. Actually, I have more on that other side. That always happens. I swear, everyone is better at one eye of makeup than they are on the other. So there we go. Okay, I got some cream shadow. Now we're gonna move on to shadows. So here's what's really cool about Mary Kay. All of our eyeshadows and cheek colors are all mineral products, so they have better adhesion to your skin, they blend really well, and they just look really nice. So the other tip is, or just things that you can kind of tell customers or people you know, is that warm undertones always make you look younger. So Mary Kay's eyeshadows are specifically designed, like even colors that you would traditionally think are a cool color, like blue or purple, our blues and our purples and our greens have a warm undertone. So even though they might seem like a cool color, they have that warm undertone. So all of our eyeshadows make you look good. So that's what I love. And we typically teach 3 eyeshadows. So a lighter one, a mid-tone, and then an accent shade. So I'm gonna kind of show you that. So I like to start with the mid-tone first. Now I have hooded eyes, meaning when my eyes are open, do you see how I have just like an itty bitty little eyelid? Like you're like, where'd it go? Where's the rest of it? But then when I kind of go like this, you see that my eyelid is actually this big, but then it's open again. You're like, where'd it go? So I think there's a huge part of the population that has an eyelid like that. You might have gorgeous, beautiful eyelids. That's great, good for you. I'm gonna kind of teach you some techniques. So I like to start with the mid-tone shade because the mid-tone is your most boring color. It's gonna help hide what you wanna hide. So this whole area here, I wanna push this back and I wanna bring this out. So I'm gonna take my mid-tone. Now typically, a mid-tone should be a matte, kind of boring shade. Does it have to be? No. If you're doing trend makeup, you go, sister. But this is like everyday women trying to hide some stuff, looking great. So my 2 favorite mid-tones are hazelnut and driftwood. Either one is gonna look good on most skin tones. So I'm gonna actually do driftwood today. So I'm gonna start right in my crease. Now, if you don't have hooded eyes, this is just gonna go back and forth in your crease, like so. Now, I have like those small eyelids. I'm actually gonna kind of blend it. Even though I started here, I'm gonna work it all the way up to underneath my eyebrow. I'm not really adding more color, I'm just kind of like blending what I had up farther. So now you can see, if you look at this one and you look at this one, you can kind of see a little bit of a difference. It's not gonna look super dramatic when people are looking at your makeup, but it makes a huge difference. And of course, I didn't get as much in this one. And the reason why we do like a matte shade is shimmer accentuates. And so I don't really want to accentuate this part of my eye because it's already the majority of my eye. So I'm using a matte shade. So there is my mid-tone. Then I'm going to take my highlighter shade. And I like to use this brush for my highlighter. And I'm going to do a little bit of honey spice, which is a fun one. And I'm going to put it on the inner corner of my eye here. You really want this right here to be really bright. I don't care what your eye shape is, it always looks good. And then makeup artists take just a little tiny bit and they dot it right here in this inner corner of your eye. Do you see the difference, even just in that little bit I did between this and this? Like this one just looks brighter, more open. It's like the easiest thing. And then you can take a little tiny bit and just pop it right up there by your eyebrow. You don't have to do that, but it's just kind of a fun if you want to, I don't know, have sort of that lighting technique on your face. I think they call it strobing. There's contouring, there's strobing, there's baking, there's a million different makeup things. Again, this is like real women doing their makeup. Okay, so we're gonna get this guy right here, and then I'm gonna do a little bit here. Now, just a tip, I have more than one of these open. So this is the one I just used because you can see the color on the end there. I have another one over here that is clean, meaning this has no color on it. I like to use just a clean brush to just kind of blend everything that I'm doing. So it looks blended, it looks nice. You never want to see lines. Like you don't want to see different lines. You just want it to be a gradient going from light to dark. Then the third color we're going to do is our accent shade. And today, what should I do? I think I'm going to do espresso. I also really like truffle. I mean, there's a million shades, you guys. This is just, I like to mix mattes and shimmers. It doesn't matter what age you are allowed to mix mattes and shimmers. So this is going to go in the last half of my eye right here. So what I like to do is place it first. Now, if you like that smoky eye, you would just make it higher over here. I'm not really going for smoky today. I'm going for normal. Now you might notice that some is falling down here. Don't worry about that right now. We're gonna fix that in a second. And that's really what baking does. If you've heard of baking, it fixes that. So we could do that in a different video. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is once you place it, see, this is what I'm talking about. If you want great looking makeup, you wanna erase this line right here. You just want it to look like a flow of color. So when I blend in to out. I pull it away from my nose. I don't want to push this color towards my nose. So I just kind of blend like this, just like a little bit up there. And again, I'm using a brush that doesn't have any color. So there. So now it's blended. Now sometimes, like right there, I got a little bit crazy. I like it to be extra dark right in the corner. So I'm gonna go back and just kind of blend that, right there. So that's one eye. So I'm gonna do the same thing over here. So again, you're just placing it on the last half of your eye. There's no rocket science to this. Doesn't even look that good when I place it. It doesn't have to. And then I'm gonna take my brush and just blend over it again. Like so. Now, if you wanna get kind of really fancy, or if I'm feeling sassy, which is most days, I like to take a fourth color, not to totally blow your mind. Like this is gonna look great with eyeliner and mascara and no blonde eyelashes here in a minute. But sometimes what I like to do, if you wanna add a fourth color, so I'm gonna add Copper Glow. And I'm gonna take it, so you see how there's this color and there's this color. I'm just gonna combine it. I'm gonna make it the bridge between those two colors. So I'm just gonna take a little bit and put this right in the middle. Kind of gives you that light. Do you see? You can see it between the two. This kind of has that coppery penny color that I love about that color. And then again, you're going to blend it. And see, I put color on my brush, so I'm going to choose another clean brush where I don't have color to blend. Because you never want to blend using one that has color on it, because you will just make a muddy mess on your eyes. So there we go. Not so bad. Okay. So there is the eyeshadow. Now eyeliner, you could do deep brown or black. I think both are great. I'm gonna do black today just so you can really see it on this video. Now, I know I'm gonna catch a lot of heck for this, so this is your big disclaimer. I use our Time Waves Your Hair eye cream to counteract the effects of what I'm about to do. I struggle with eyeliner on the top since I was like, I remember I wore silver eyeliner on the bottom and clear mascara. So I know there are people in this world that can just close their eyes and put their mascara or their eyeliner on like this. I am not one of those people. I do pull in my eye. So just look away if this, really bothers you or something. So it should be thickest out here. So I like to start on the outside edge because usually I'm not ready. And there we go. Now, if you want to make that wingtip, you have to do this kind of quick because your mascara is drying. You take this brush, and all I do is take it to the outside here and follow along my eyeliner, and I just flick it up like that. So there, I just gave myself a little wing. Do you see that? Super easy. Just using this little brush. Boop. Boom, cat eye, just like that. Okay. Now I'm gonna do the other eye. Again, disclaimer. Sometimes I'll go back if I kind of go watch what I'm doing here. Uh-oh. Looks like I need to open a new eyeliner. That happens sometimes. Okay, and then this side, same thing. Once again, we're all better at one eye than we are the other. And I want to make them even. So I'm going to take my brush. I'm not as good at winging this side, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know why that is. There. There, see? Little wingy eyeliner. Looks good. Then I'm going to use my mascara. And our eyeliners are waterproof, so they're not going to end up all over your eyes. Now, I do not do eyeliner on the bottom in terms of like traditional eyeliner. I actually take whatever this third color is that I'm wearing here. So it was espresso for me. And I'm just gonna pull that using this little brush. I use this guy a lot. If you notice that, you can use this for eyebrows, eyeliner, whatever. And I'm just gonna put a little bit underneath. But before I do that, I'm gonna take my brush that I used for powder before. And I'm just gonna flick away any excess eyeshadow that might have fallen in the meantime. Now, if you had a lot of eyeshadow fall, for example, you could put a little CC cream on and kind of go and give yourself, now if you want a really clean cat eye, you could go like take some concealer and that's if you, this is not everyday women, this is like trend makeup. But you can almost give yourself an eye lift doing that too. So, so I'm gonna go back to our espresso and I'm just gonna take a little bit and I'm gonna pull it right there, like right in your lashes. When you do eyeliner on the bottom, you don't want to put it on that water line, that wet part of your eye. You also don't want to go underneath. You want to go right in your lashes. And it's so thin you can barely see it. You do not want to get heavy on the bottom because it's going to have that same effect where it's pulling your eye down. So I have eyes done. I have blonde eyelashes, so it looks really weird before I have mascara on. So again, if you want your stuff to last, you gotta prime. So I'm gonna use our eyelash primer and give my lashes a little coat. It's just like a clear mascara almost. Okay, I like to, before it dries, do my mascara. So I'm gonna do a layer mascara. Now, if you want to give the illusion that you're wearing eyeliner, you get your wand as close to the base of your lashes as you can stand and wiggle it. That's if you want to go days without eyeliner. It's the best way to kind of give the illusion that you got some eyeliner on. Okay. It's hard to do this and talk at the same time, that is for sure. There we go. So look at the difference in eyes between this one and this one with mascara on. I do like to do a little tiny bit on the bottom, not a lot. So there we go. Got one eye done. Do the other eye. We have lots of kinds of mascara. I'm using our Lash Love mascara because especially, okay, this is a warning you guys, this is the eye that's always hard to do. I think it's because I'm right-handed and so I'm always like this. But this one has really wacky eyelashes that kind of go every which direction. I do recommend curling your eyelashes before you do all this because it gives your lashes a great base. You can use a traditional eyelash curler. One of my favorites is by Japanesque, and it's actually a heated eyelash curler. Okay, so let's see, I'll get this good enough for now. Now, see, this is why this is real women's makeup. I got a little bit of mascara right there. You just kind of blend it, no biggie. Now, if you want lashes, we have our Lash Intensity, which gives you falsy looking lashes. I love our Lash Intensity. We have a waterproof, we have a Lash Love Lengthening. Our Lash Love Lengthening is probably the most natural mascara that we have. And then of course our Ultimate Mascara, which, let's be honest, that has a following. I mean, so many women use it, love it. I think there would be a global uprising if we ever got rid of it, so we probably should never get rid of it. Okay, there we go. All right, now the rest of our face goes really quickly. I like to do bronzer and cheek color. That's right, I said and. So I'm gonna grab, I like to use for bronzer my cheek color brush. So I'm gonna do 2 number 3s on my face. So it's temple to cheek, cheek to jawline. And so this is what I would do on a normal basis. If you want your jawline to look more angular, instead of going up on your cheekbone here with the 3, you're gonna come around and kind of go under it and give yourself a really harsh angle. And you can do that by holding the bristles on our brush and giving yourself like a psh, but then you would want to blend it up and down too. So that's a way you can do that. And so I'm gonna use our bronzer. It's just the light to medium mineral powder bronzer. And I like to start up here. Just kind of go down and around. And I'm super fair, so I like having a little bit of color. This also thins out your face. I call this everyday woman's facial contouring because true facial contouring requires all these different colors of foundation and concealer, and nobody has time for that. So here we go. Okay, then I'm gonna take a little bit of our cheek color, and this is the Ripe Watermelon color, which looks really scary. It's like a bright, bright pink, but it doesn't go on that way. And I'm just gonna, you kind of find the apple of your cheek I'm making this face. So I'm just gonna pop a little bit right here, because if you think about it, your bronzer went to here, right? So you're gonna pop it right into your bronzer. So you're just gonna take a little bit like this. We'll put some on that side. And you just kind of blend it up into your bronzer. Doesn't have to be a lot, just a little bit. Goes a long way. Okay. And then last but not least is your lips. But step 1 to lips is our age-fitting lip primer. This stuff rocks. It's kind of waxy, and so it makes a fence on your lips. So it prevents that feathering and bleeding if you ever heard that problem. And it just makes your lipstick last. So I put this, I go outside the lines, down and around, do the whole yarn thing, kind of blot it just like a lip balm or something. And then I am going to take lip liner. I love, this color is everything in my opinion, the rose lip liner. It works on any skin tone, so if you're not sure what to use, I love the rose. It just gives you a little bit of color and you can kind of play with it, but honestly, any lip liner is fine. So what you're gonna do is you need to line your lips and then you need to fill them in with the lip liner. So, we're gonna see how this goes. Okay, because I'm kind of far away from my mirror. So I like to line this, they call that your Cupid's bow, that little thing on the front. And then fill it in. Okay, now sometimes I'll go like this, just to make sure I got it all. And again, like lip balm, give your lips a blot. So here's the deal. If my lipstick wears off throughout the day, I still have this great base on there, so it's not gonna look scary like the people who line their lips but don't fill in their lips with the liner. And then what I like to do is just use a great lipstick. And I would say a couple of my go-tos are Mauve Moment in our matte line. Today I think I'm gonna wear Always Apricot in our matte line, and then I love Pink Passion. I mean, we have so many great lipsticks. I wear everything. I've worn red, I've worn crushed berry, I've worn orange in the summertime. So I'm gonna put this guy on. And it's really similar to this lip liner color. And I like to go like that just to make sure it's all set. So there we go. So I've got my face on, got some makeup done. Now, when I'm all done, take my setting spray, and you want to spray it in an X and a T. So you kind of want to get your whole face. So, I know, that might have been an extra spray because it didn't come out right away. And then you just let it dry, and that kind of molds the molecules of your foundation, so it's going to look great all day long. And so the other thing I like to do is, the last tip I'll give you, is I always have a package of these in case I know I'm going to be somewhere all day long. And you just take out a paper and you can blot any excess shine or whatever off of your face, and it just keeps you looking great all day long. So I hope these tips helped you. I hope you were excited about our Mary Kay products and the fact that they are buildable and work together so well and make you look flawless. So send me your before and after photo. I would love to see it, and you have a great day.